How's everybody doing today? Last video we did, we touched on BC, ballistic programs, and I mentioned at the end of the video that we would, this video, part 3 would be about tuning your air gun to get maximum velocity for the least amount of air that you use. So as you see here, I have my Codwell chronograph that's behind me over here. I have it Bluetooth connected to the tablet, and we will touch on that, on how to, if you don't know how to use it, this Codwell program is pretty self-explanatory. You hit new group, and in the description, this here is a 25 Condor, which is my pellet shooter. And so I'll put Air Force Condor, and 0.25. Now there'll be a drop-down menu that you can add extra notes, like this one here. I'll add a note that I'm filling to 3,000 PSI. And that just allows you to know what your shot string was, because it's important to keep track, because not all air guns shoot at optimized at full fill pressure, and that's the whole reason for tuning your gun. Then distance to crony, ballistic coefficient of a pellet. This is going to be a pellet shooter, so we're just going to leave that at 1. The pellet weight is, we're going to be shooting Barracuda Hunter, and they're 27.47 grains. So we're going to put 27.47 grains. Don't need anything about altitude or any of that. Okay, and now that you're done with that, you can close that off, and you can hit the start button, and that starts your shot string. And then I'll turn it back around so you guys can see it, so you can watch the shot string. And I will show it to you after we do the shot string. Now, with an Air Force gun, and this doesn't pertain to all guns, I want to start out at a low hammer spring setting. I'm going to turn the gun so you guys can see it. But that's now I'm at 6.8, and we're gonna run 10 more rounds. And just so we don't mess up this time, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, so now we got 10 rounds. I'm gonna get this cap that I can lay them in so they don't go rolling all over the place. I'm going to try to make this video as short as I can, but when you're doing shot strings, it's time consuming and it uses a lot of air. All right, so let's double check where we started going downhill. Is so it clicked like it was going to start filling at 2,500. So from about 2,700 to 2,500, you got a really good set of powerful shots. We'll put this away. Okay, so we've got 25 shots, and we started at, so we're going to hit stop, we're going to hit save group. So now we go to saved groups, and we click on this group, and we look, and we start reading the numbers. We've got an average of 904. We got a standard deviation of 63.3. Minimum velocity was at 776, max was at 1,004. We got a 228 feet per second spread between minimum and maximum. And the middle velocity is 905 feet per second. So the reason that we shoot the gun, we tune, and what I call tuning the gun, what everybody calls tuning the gun, is now you know where your gun is reacts to the air pressure and what air pressure, because you need to look at your gauge. So at 3,000 psi, this gun does not like 3,000 psi. It was only shooting 798. Then for some reason we got a crazy 776, but that happens all the time in air gunning. But then it went up to 833, 878, and then we've got we got two more crazy numbers, 838, 868, then 807. That was the one we were talking about. But then it goes from 88, then it shoots 886. That was at 2,900 psi. 897. Then we got another slow shot, 854. So we throw that one out. But then it goes 888, 899, 922, 892, 911, 939, 4352, 74, 87, 1004. Then it drops back down to 976. So as you noticed when I was shooting the string, when I seen those high numbers, I looked at the pressure on my gauge. Now, Air Force gauges are always off a little bit. I don't think you'll ever find a gauge that's 100% right. That's why I trust my bottle gauge. But now I know that between 2,800 and 2,700, that's what that gun likes. That's the pressure it likes. That's where you're going to get maximum velocity. And like I said, as soon as they get here, I ordered 2 regulators, and I'm gonna show you how to hook them up, and eventually we're gonna go out to the field, and I'm gonna show you how to get the best accuracy for the projectile you're shooting. So let's say we'll get the pellets back. Let's say that you're shooting the Barracuda Hunter 27.47. Okay, so you start out you do 5-shot groups, and you go through a lot of targets. I'm not gonna lie, but you do 5-shot groups at various pressures. So this one on the 25th shot, it was down to 956. So, and I looked at the gauge, it was 2,500 psi-ish. So we know that we need to start at 2,500 psi, because in your shot string, that was your lowest, not your lowest, but that's where the curve was dropping off. So when the bell curve, because you go up and it peaks and then it drops slowly, and eventually you get down to 0. But you don't want to start here at the top of the bell curve. You want to start just slightly down on the low side of the bell curve. And then that's where you set your regulator at for, like this one, 2,500 PSI. Now, when you've got that gun hooked to this tank, this is an 88 cubic foot tank. You can shoot all day long from 4,500 PSI and never have to fill your gun, because your gun will always be full. And it'll be at the optimum pressure to gain the optimum velocity of the projectile you're shooting. That's how you shoot long range. You can't just, I won't say you can't. You can. You could fill that gun up, fill up to 257, go out and shoot 200 and 300 and 400 yard targets and shoot 3 or 4 shots at a time, refill the gun, shoot 3 or 4 shots at a time. But what you don't understand is this hose, every time you bleed this hose off, you lose air. You lose a volume, a small amount of air, and that adds up. If you fill 20 times a day, that all this hose and up into the valve, that whole part right there, you lose all that air volume. And eventually it'll equal a tank full of air. So if you're gonna shoot long range, the only way to do it proficiently and I can't think of the word that I'm trying to use. Anyway, you don't want to waste any more air than you have to, because these tanks only last so long. And I would rather shoot this tank down to 3,000 PSI and have to take it and get it filled again, or shoot this other tank down to 3,000 PSI. I'd rather get 600 shots-ish. Don't quote me on it. It's not true. I don't know exactly how many shots you're going to get, because I used to do it the old school way. Just like I said, I used to fill up, shoot 3 times, fill up, shoot 3 times. But then I started talking to other people, and they turned me on to regulating. You know, I won't say the brand name of the gun, but there's regulated guns out there. And they're making a crap ton of power, and they're still getting 60 or 70 shots of fill. And that makes your day that much more fun when you don't have to fill, you don't ever have to fill your gun. You sit down at the table, you've already done all your math, you've done all your trial shots, you've got, you know, here's my 25 caliber box. We'll just use these. We got some, what are these? So you got your NSA 33.5 grain slugs. You know what speed this slug likes, because you'll have it written right here on the top, on the lid. I get these containers from Dollar General. They're $1. And they stack nice in the ammo box. And they keep your bullets from getting beat all to heck. So, you know, you're gonna have a whole lot more fun out on the range, or out of your target range, because you don't ever have to fill your gun. And I was asked by somebody, I'm not gonna say who, I was asked to take their gun out to 300 yards. You guys will find out who it is soon enough. And I do plan on taking their gun out to 300 yards. I don't know about their 22 caliber gun, But I guarantee you their 25 caliber gun, I'm going to take that baby out to 300 yards and we're going to see just what it can do. Because modern air guns have a lot of power and they're really misjudged. So I hope today you learned something, and if I missed anything, please leave a comment. Please like the video if you like it. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. But just know, good things are coming to this channel. We're going to be shooting regulated guns off a bench out at the farm. We're going to be shooting these guns 300-400 yards, and we're going to be shooting steel gongs, and I'm going to show you guys just how well these guns can be and can shoot with the right tune. Anyway, I hope everybody enjoys this video. Please comment. Please click the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button. And next video, we're going to be working on getting rigged. We're going to get rigged. Everybody have an awesome day.